So I have an old Kohler Command single-cylinder engine, and the problem was that it would run fine, it would idle, rev up. Normally, I would say, has a few misfires here and there, but under any sort of load, it would just bog down and die like a dog. So I compression tested it. It had pretty low compression. Checked the valves, and they were sticking open, especially the exhaust side. So I took the head off, and I'm investigating the cylinder. No scoring or really any signs of wear. And I noticed there's also cross-hatching, which means that somebody was in this engine recently. This engine's not new by any means. So I know for a fact that the Kohler Command series engines, I don't know if any others have these, but they have these little things, hydraulic lifters. Now, a lot of people have no clue what these are. They are more common now, but especially in these older engines, a lot of people don't expect to see them. Now, what these are, basically, they adjust the valve lash automatically. Basically, the whole design is there's the lifter part, and then there's this kind of center shaft or whatever that holds the push rod, meets with the push rod, and there's a little bit of give. This is with all the hydraulic fluid bled out of it, but when you install it, you install the head, the valves, the push rods, and then you torque them down so these are pressed in there, and then when the engine starts up, these fill with oil, they pressurize, and that little plunger meets to the certain height of the push rod. Well, when you relieve pressure off of them, they'll stick up and they'll seize like they are now. So if you remove the head or the push rods and you don't remove these and relieve all the pressure out of them, and then you put the head, the valves back on, it'll cause the valves to stick open. And so I think that's what happened here. They took the head off, honed out the cylinder, rebuilt stuff, I'm guessing. They reinstalled the head without bleeding the lifters, and that's why the valves were stuck open. Now, to bleed the lifters, you can watch the Kohler YouTube channel video where they showed you how to use one of these quick grips, 5/16 socket, put it in there and compress it, and there's this little hydraulic bleeder hole right there. If you press it and hold it, there'll be oil that comes out of there. Now, when oil no longer comes out of there, that means that it's bled properly. So I'm going to do that for both of these and show you guys how you reinstall it and all that good stuff. So now you drop them down in those little holes there. Of course, with the little cup facing up. Boop, just like that. Now I've prepped the top of this cylinder here for the head gasket. Ba-bam! And then I put some assembly lube on the cylinder walls, so when we go to crank this thing over, it won't score the cylinder or anything like that. Now we have the cylinder back on, and you just want to finger tighten all the bolts for the first few threads. Also, you want to make sure that you put a little bit of lubrication on the threads just so it doesn't destroy the threads inside the block. Now with the head installed, we can drop the push rods down in there, and now we can put our rockers on. Alright, so when I tighten this one, it should not, I repeat, not compress the spring at all. Boom. See? And you don't need a feeler gauge or anything like that, because when the engine fires up, all the hydraulic lifters will fill with oil. Everything will be good. It'll be at the right tolerances, all that good stuff. Now, of course, I have the carburetor and exhaust off. Now we can test to see if both these valves are seated properly, sealing properly with my big old mouth. All right, so we're gonna spin this engine over. All right, so this push rod, the exhaust here, is all the way up. Now let's see if this bad boy seals properly. Nope, so it's not leaking at all. That's great. So this valve is starting to compress, which means this valve is fully open. Here's the carburetor hole. I'm going to give it mouth to mouth and see what it does. Nope, so it's not leaking at all either. That's what you want, boys. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. That's how you do it. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, whatever.